We are live. That didn't even chew. Long story. So, I started figuring out what to do for supper at 6 o'clock, which was an hour ago. And I told my son, go pick us up some McDonald's. And he stayed there with his friend for like 45 minutes. I'm like, where are you at? And he got here at like 8 minutes until time for me to go live. And I scarfed it down, and yeah, here I am. What is up, y'all? Welcome to a new time, Saturday Night live stream. And yeah, I figured I would do 7 o'clock tonight because I've got it figured out. Wednesday nights, 7 o'clock is open, and it would be easier to just keep it on track and easier for people to remember. I also figured out what was wrong on my YouTube time, showing 2 hours later. There was another setting that I had not changed to Central. It was on Mountain Time, but it didn't make sense. I mean, Mountain Time is an hour before me, but it always showed that I was going live 2 hours from whenever I had it scheduled, and now it's showing exactly right. So maybe, just maybe, everyone will start getting their notifications on time and all of that kind of stuff, hopefully. So let's see who all is here. We got Dougie from Bald and Dangerous. What is up, brother? Dank Tanks is in the house. Charlie is here, and he says, hey, what is up, Charlie? Valley Fish is here. Hello, what is up? Let's see, Pete Perlinsky is here. Morning, Jeffro. Good morning, Pete. Aquarium Co-op is here. Looks like chips, dip, and some cashews for me. Dinner of champions. Sweet. That is awesome, man. Can't beat that. Patricia Kloppel is here. Good evening, Jeffro and everyone. What is up, Patricia? Charlie said this is a great time. Yeah, it's really good for me too, because if I want to go late, it's not really late for me. So like if I want to go a couple of hours, for me it's only 9 o'clock if I go a couple hours. So yeah, some of my Eastern time zone people it's a little bit better for too, so 7 o'clock I'm gonna like it, I think. So let's see here. Dank says, I love cashews fried in the wok. Yeah, they're good whenever they're crisp. They just are delicious. Down in southern Missouri where I grew up, there's this thing called Springfield style cashew chicken. And what it is it's really tender pieces of white meat, just chunks of it. And they fry it with a batter that has like, it's got a little bit of baking powder and a little bit of baking soda and flour, and that fizzes a little bit whenever it's frying, so it's like a really kind of puffy, flaky crust. And then you lay it on a bed of rice. It can be fried rice or white rice, and then they've got like an Asian gravy that goes over the top of that, and then you put cashews over the top of that with like some scallions or green onions or something like that over the top of that. So Springfield style cashew chicken is the bomb, and that's what they do with their cashews is they put them in the wok, and it is awesome. So everybody saying hi to Dougie. And let's see here. Mr. B's Fish and Things is here. Says, hey Jeff, what is up, Brad? Welcome to the live stream. Dank says, anyone want to see Jeffro react to a text message? Well, I just got a message from Patricia or Priscilla, it looks like. Yeah, Wednesday's live stream was a train wreck. I finally put my phone on mute. I kept on getting calls and text messages, and I put my phone on mute, but I can still get text messages, and Dank knows that. And that's a little bit bad. Turtle Girl is here. She says, hey, yeah, thanks for stopping in, Turtle Girl. Peter Thiel is here. What is up, Peter? Michael Trevino. Oh. I missed it. Oh, hey, there's Mr. Clean. What is up, Michael? Peter says, I love wasabi soy almonds. Ooh, those are so good. I get them at Walmart, and they're like a big package of them. And the wasabi ones are so good. They burn your nostrils sometimes, and I just love it. V-Stag is here. What is up, Victor? Patricia says, got the last name right. Awesome. I don't do that very often. Let's see here. Look who's a mod here. Dougie. Well, I'll make you a mod too, Turtle Girl. Okay. Let's see here. Wait, what? Wait, what? I don't know, Priscilla. I'm probably really far behind, so I didn't do it. Danky. Well, let's see who it was then. Yeah, it was Priscilla. Tell Dank he smells like a flower. That is funny. That is funny. Okay. You smell like a flower, I guess, Dank. So in Priscilla's live stream, I was over there, and Dank was talking about this print that he got. Or actually, I think it's the original. And he was talking about the experience and how good it smelled. And she was like, what? It's paper, you know, and paint, you know. And he was like, I don't know what it was. It smelled so good when I pulled it out. And I'm sitting here thinking, you know, I've got my print set right here, and I haven't even opened it out of the package yet. And I didn't even think to smell it. Now, of course, I had my mind on those rainbow tiger antlers, you know, so I wouldn't have smelled it, but... Fuzzy Fish is here, says, hey everyone, what is up, Fuzzy Fish? Yeah, that's what you're saying, wait, what? Yeah, Patricia I had just got done reading Patricia Clopel. Oh man, now I messed up the last name. I just got done reading her comment, and yeah, that's all it was, Priscilla. Don't kill me. Bare Bottom Aquariums is here. Mr. Froz, what's up? What is up? Oh, Froze. Mr. Froze, what up? Yeah, Jeff Rose is kind of just sticking in. It's okay. It's no big deal. It's like now I'm known as Froze, Mr. Froze. What is up, Bare Bottom Aquariums? Peter says, I enjoyed seeing Justify winning. I heard about it whenever I was on Joel's live stream, so I went and checked it because, what was it, either last year or the year before, whenever, what's his name won the Triple Crown, I didn't think it would ever happen again, or it'd be a long time, you know, and that is awesome. And supposedly, this is only the second time that a horse has ever done it and been undefeated this year, or undefeated, I guess, overall, forever. And let's see, what else? Justify beat the most horses to win this Triple Crown. So in the 3 races, he beat like 35 or 36 horses, or she. I don't know if Justify is or he or she, but Justify kicks some butt. Aquarium Co-op says, gotta go, board game night, I'll be around again. Thanks, Corey. I'm gonna go for probably 2 hours tonight, unless something happens that I can't, you know. Got the kids here tonight and stuff. You never know, there might be something come up, but you weren't supposed to say it was for me. Jeez. Well, I'd already told him that I got a message from you. Let's see. Yeah, I'm way behind. As usual, I'm way behind in the chat. So I guess I'll just put this out there. If I miss your chat, don't get upset. This is only like my 23rd live stream, and yeah, so it's just one of those things. Yeah, I made you blue, Turtle Girl. Dank is a weirdo. Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of like, okay. I can just see Dank going, it smells so good. uh, oh, Priscilla, I did not. So Priscilla says, did you realize there is more than one print? More than one print in there, Jeff. No, I did not. Oh my God. Looky here, guys. I've had these for like a month. These prints. So Priscilla and I traded. I traded some guppy grass and some ram's horn snails for some rainbow tiger endlers. And I sent her the guppy grass and the ram's horn snails, and then like a week later, she sent me some really nice rainbow tiger endlers. And when I opened up the box, this was sitting on the top. And I think it's been like a month that I've had it, and she just now here in the chat told me, did you realize there's more in there? So got that little Cory there. And then I really don't know what kind of fish this is, so what kind of fish is that, guys? Is that like one of those it's one of those minnows or something, maybe? Man, that is awesome. Thanks, Priscilla. Wow, my son will really think that's awesome. Cool. Yep, I would have never known. Let's see here. I do smell like a flower though. Wolf thorn. Lumpy Dog is in the house. What is up, Lumpy Dog? Ay, ay, ay. My son. Oh my gosh. And I can't mute it. I can't mute text. I'm going to have to go into the settings. Everybody saying hi to Lumpy Dog, and I am way behind. I wanted to see what. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh boy, now you're in trouble. Bros, bros. Oh, American Pharaoh won the race either last year or the year before, Peter says, and that is right. Angie Saulnier, aka Mrs. B. Hello, everyone. First time here. Well, welcome, Mrs. B. That is awesome. I'm assuming you know Mr. B? That's what I'm assuming, but I may be wrong. Okay, Priscilla says froze. I think he's bald, but froze is fitting. That is funny. The Turtle Girl says the only reason I know about the Triple Crown is because I used to watch the movie Secretariat all the time as a kid. Yeah, Secretariat was a beast. Priscilla says, oh, 2 hours? I'll be back later. Yeah, we got plenty of time. A lot of my subscribers like the longer streams, and it's been a couple months since I've done a 2 hour long one. And now that I'm going an hour earlier, I would have been going till 9 anyhow, so. Yeah, Dougie says no texts or phone calls. I know. It's like, and my son was asking me, you know, I've been on here for what, 17 minutes. When I left him, he was eating, you know, and he goes, do you know where the PB blaster is? It's like, how in the last 15 minutes did he get into a project where he needs to know where the PB blaster is? It's like, and then I go, I don't know, and he answers back K. He didn't have to answer me back. That's like more, yeah, it is what it is. Dun, 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 dun. Dank says, my wife even said they smelled good, and she's saying, okay. Lumpy Dog says, how's the pond intake guppy grass clog thingy doing? Any improvements? So, what I finally did was on the lower tub for the pump that pumps the water out of that one. Um, I had put a pantyhose on it, and the guppy grass would get down there, and then all the waste and everything would get clogged up right there. So every day, like 2 or 3 times a day, I was having to go out there and pull on the pantyhose, and then everything would dust away, and then eventually by the next day or later in the day, it would get clogged up again. Um, that wasn't that big of a problem because all that really did is slow down the flow going into the shower filter, but it was a pain in the butt. So then what I tried was, since that shower filter is kind of setting at an angle and I hadn't really done anything with that anyhow, the the shower wasn't really showering over everything exactly perfect. So I took like 5 sacks of the ceramic bio rings out of the drawers, and I stacked them all around the pump, and that worked a lot better, but the mulm was still getting through. So I went ahead and took the pantyhose off of that, and now everything's going good. The only thing I'm concerned about doing that is um, I've still got the bio rings stacked up all around it, and that's working good. But there's one thing that I put in the tub that you guys will see later this week that could um, get in there still. So I've got some work to do with that, but you'll understand that more when you see the videos later in the week. And then the overflow on the upper tank, I went ahead and just took the pantyhose off of it. And if it becomes a problem, um, I don't really think Fry can get through that thing, but there's a possibility that they could too. So right now I've got the intake above with just that old hang on the back intake piece that you probably saw in that one video. So it's going a lot better. As of today, everything's flowing perfect. But I don't have any guard, really good guard in the overflow of Fry getting through. But if Inler Fry get through, if they're females, that's okay, because they're basically, a female Inler is basically kind of like a guppy. I mean, the ones that I got from Priscilla are. I've got some Inlers that came with my red bar Inlers that look a little bit different. They kind of are gray and shiny, and then they've got some yellow tips on their tails and stuff. But the males, if there is any Fry that does get down there, it would be an overflow situation, so they wouldn't get injured, and I would be able to pick them out. And it's not a straight line down there in that bottom tank anyhow, so it wouldn't ruin anything. That's why I put the rainbows up on the top. I didn't want to have the rainbow tiger Inlers in the bottom and have guppy Fry get down into there and then possibly ruin my line. So I wanted to keep them straight. So I'm not that concerned about it, but Priscilla, oh, was it the original at Dank Tank? I thought you figured it out. Where do you get one of those? Mr. B, are you asking somebody else where do you get one of those? I know I'm probably really far behind. Oh, it's a CPD. Cool. So, Celestial Pearl Daniel, I think is how you say it, is what Bare Bottom Aquariums is saying this print was. So I know I'm really far behind. Yeah, I've never had a CPD, so I didn't know that one. Everybody's saying it now, yeah, so I'm way behind. Chicago Police Department. Who said that? When I went down in the chat, it just went, because I'm really far behind. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. Silence is golden on wait is a live stream. Like sane or insane, and it's not dang. Boy, this chat is bumping tonight, guys. So the Turtle Girl says Chicago Police Department. That was a good one. I had to scroll back up and see that. Dank, where do you get a sane wife? Yeah, she does really good work, doesn't she, Dougie? Beautiful artwork. Pete says, can you give my little 6-year-old son Evan a shout out? He is a fish lover. Well, what is up, Evan? If you're watching, Your dad is awesome. Love the artwork. Like, saying, or in. Oh, I already read that one. Silence is golden. Let's see here. Mr. B's fishing things caught red-handed. Just, yeah, no kidding. He did, didn't he? Just got a notification that you're live, or you are live. Thanks, YouTube. Yeah, I think, and you know, my live streams have been doing pretty good. So now that I did this, maybe they'll even do better, but I think it was my fault, the reason why everybody wasn't getting their notifications. I had went in, one of the first things I thought of was my settings were off. And I went into my settings and looked, and it was set to Central Time Zone, so I just assumed that was the only one. But there's another setting, and it's not really even a setting. It's actually, and I just overlooked it all this time, and I feel like a dummy, but actually on my live stream dashboard, underneath where you actually schedule your stream, there is a drop down menu that I've just ignored all this time, that you can change the way you schedule it. You can change it, and it was always set to Mountain Time, which doesn't make sense, because what had always confused me is, like, if I set it for 7 p.m., you know, it would say I was going live at 9 p.m. So that doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know. It must have just been Central America or something like that. I don't know. But anyhow, I've got it figured out now. I've got it set right, and it does seem like that was right. Okay. 54 Punchy is in the house, and she says, hello everyone, what is up, Punchy? Welcome, welcome. Jimmy H. Fishes says, what's cracking? Well, not much is cracking tonight, man, but we're having a pretty hot live stream here. Everybody that is cool is here, so welcome. You're one of the cool ones too. Priscilla MK Art says, did the Rainbow Tiger Endlers have fry yet? Not that I have seen, but I did notice that my water temperature is finally up to mid-high 70s, so like 76 degrees today. So they're gonna start popping out. My guppies did. My guppies did some fry, like 5 or 6. Nice wrench, Dougie. Jimmy says, do you have plecos in with your shrimps? I've got one tank in the whole house that I've got plecos with my shrimp, and I don't really care for it all that much. I've got a breeding for profit. And about the biggest thing I don't like about it is the shrimp that I've got in there are like pretty close to painted fire reds. I mean, they're really nice. And to me, they're, you know, I paid a lot of money for them, and you know, if I wanted to, I could really start, if I really started shipping, I could really, I mean, there's some really nice ones in there. I could really get some money out of them. But get back to what I'm talking about here. At feeding time, those shrimp have a hard time. Like, I can't special feed the shrimp, you know. So if I find a food that I want my shrimp to eat that's good for their health, I can't feed it to them because everything else in the tank eats it. And then there's a lot of tail whipping that goes on with those plecos. And I've got super reds in with my fire red shrimp, and that's what I don't like about it. So whenever I set up this rack system in my dining room, I set up 3 different aquariums in there that have shrimp only in them, and I like it better. I can special feed them, you know, I can feed them specialty food, and yeah, they get it. I know how often they eat, all those kind of things. So the Turtle Girl says, well, I really got to go edit. I'll catch you all later. Well, thanks for coming, Turtle Girl. I appreciate it. Always nice when you stop in. Mr. B's fishing thing says, all I can say is this. Be careful criticizing your wife's choices. After all, you are one of them. That is really smart. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. If it becomes a problem, just wear the pantyhose. Yeah, that would be a good idea, wouldn't it? OPD here, OPD. Dun, 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 dun. The other Bob is here, running in late. Well, welcome, Bob. Welcome. Yeah, like death and taxes. Charlie's right. Dank says, my Endler female is extra fat. Pete says, cheers for the shout out, Jeffro. Evan loved it. Well, that's good to hear, man. Always got to get those little ones excited about this stuff, you know. Patricia says, good night, everyone. Got to go. My plant order from the aquarium plant store just came in. I was hoping it was my aquarium box. Oh well. Good night all. Well, good night, Patricia. Thanks for stopping in. Jimmy H. Fishes says, how often you feed your shrimps? I seem to get planaria even with the smallest feedings. Well, lots of times I go 2 to 3 days without feeding them. I learned a long time ago, I think it was from, oh my gosh, Rachel O'Leary. She's got a lot of shrimp, and she said, feed your shrimp when you see them going crazy in the tank like this. And for the most part, shrimp daily will be just grazing, you know, and acting calm and cool and just grazing on stuff. But if you see all your shrimp start going like this and stuff, that means they're hungry. And that's what I kind of do. And it seems like every 2 to 3 days. Now, on some of my tanks where I've got a lot more shrimp, I sometimes have to feed a little bit more often. But I hardly ever feed every day. It's usually every 2 to 3 days. Hopefully that answers your question, Jimmy. And I've never had the problem with the planaria. Jad Orsi is here. I'm digging that new avatar that you got there, Jad. Pretty cool. Welcome. Steenfod Aquatics is here and says, dropped by to drop a like. Gotta go back to making hamburgers. Ooh. Excuse me. It made me burp, Bob. Well, thanks for stopping in and dropping a like, Bob. Appreciate that. I stopped at Bob's gaming live stream for a little bit last night. I was kind of busy, but I went ahead and stopped by. Dank sent me a text and said, where are you at? And Bob was playing a new game on his gaming stream, or his gaming channel, and it was pretty cool. He's really good. Okay, let's see here. Yep, good advice from Rachel. Yep, she's pretty smart, and it made a lot of sense. You know, when she said that, she was actually showing it on video, and I was like, man, my shrimp do that every once in a while, because I think Mark from Mark's Shrimp, he said something like, I think he feeds his every 3 days or so. You don't have to feed them every day, and it's really not good for them if you do. Bare Bottom Aquarium says, my shrimp don't go for food when I put it in the tank. I feel like I'm just feeding snails. Yeah, I've never had that problem, so I don't really know what to do. How often are you feeding? You know, maybe they're getting some at night. I do have a tank right here. This tank right here has a bunch of wild ones, and the other night on Instagram I posted a little video of a really beautiful chocolate one, and I hadn't seen that shrimp for like 2 months, and she's really healthy. I mean, really healthy. And then last night I seen my root beer one that I'd been looking for a long time, um, and I say root beer, but it's not really got as much brown. It's just like the deepest, darkest red that you would ever think, you know. But I don't see those very often. And then I've got um, the original wild shrimp, the real deep black one with a gold stripe. I've got her in there too, and lots of times I feel like they're eating at nighttime. So Jad says, haha, thanks to my I love the avatar. And then she's saying hi to Dougie there. Let's see here. Lumpy Dog says, my cherry shrimp colony never did well until I started ignoring them. Single serving of Bacter AE once a week. They get guppy love overs and scavenge. Oh, they get guppy leftovers and scavenge. No other feedings. Yeah, and in my all shrimp tanks, I've got like 3 10-gallons, and I've got reds in one, and then I've got the Blue Dreams, Fantasy Blue Dreams from Flip, and then in the other one I've got the all black ones, and I can feed them selective. Like, I feed a lot of my stuff, I feed different foods every day, especially my plecos. So my plecos get fed every day, and all my fish get fed every day, but the shrimp don't. And I would say the shrimp in my breeding for profit probably do. You know, they just get leftovers, and there's this one type of food, and you can see it landing on the Java moss, and you can see them just all over the Java moss, so that's how they get fed. Corey the Cat is here. He says hello. What is up, Corey? Jimmy says, thanks, Jeff. What food do you recommend for shrimp? I'm using Hikari Shrimp Cuisine. They're too small, though. I've never fed that before, but if you hang on just a second, I'll get what I feed out. I know I don't have it in here. Hang on one second. Hang on one second, guys. Stay. Alright, that was probably really loud, wasn't it? Okay, so these are exclusively the 4 foods that I feed my shrimp. And this one that I'm getting ready to show you is the one that Flip Aquatics recommended. He didn't really necessarily recommend them. I asked him whenever I got my shipment in, there was a lot of little flaky like food in the bag, and I was trying to figure out what he was feeding them, because I don't feed flakes to my shrimp at all. And he said he feeds these Northfin kelp wafers. So Jimmy, I feed those, and these are really good. These are the ones that I'm talking about in the breeding for profit, that after they've been in the tank for a little bit, and your plecos love them too, after they've been in the tank for a little bit, they kind of start dusting into little bitty flakes, but it's just a wafer about yay big, and they've got a really strong odor to them, and guppies love them, endlers love them, platies love them, plecos love them, and your shrimp just devour them. And that's what Flip Aquatics feeds his shrimp in his stockroom, the Neocaridina. And then boy, I can't even hardly say this word, Shirakura, minimum breeder shrimp ball food. I feed those, and what I do is I trade off on all this stuff. So like every 3 days when I feed my shrimp, I feed them something different. I try to remember what I fed last, and these are little black thin wafers, and only my shrimp will eat them. They're harder. It takes them longer to eat them. So the guppies and the endlers and everything pick at them for just a little bit, and then they give up on it because they can't get any food off of it. And then I also feed this Shrimp King Complete. All of my shrimp love these, and they are like a little pellet, and they got like a lot of greenery stuff in them. Some of them are longer and some of them are shorter, but it smells like it actually smells like catnip is what it smells like. So Shrimp King Complete. And then the fourth thing that I feed all of my shrimp, and all of my shrimp love them. I mean, it's probably their favorite food is just Pleco wafers, and it doesn't have to be the Tetra, you know, but yeah, shrimp love those. So that was a long drawn out answer to your question, Jimmy, but that's what I feed my shrimp, and all of them do really good. So 54 Punchy says, sometimes when shrimp are swimming all over the tank, it is because there is a female in there ready to breed. That very well could be, because, you know, if you see that it's only males doing it, you know, that very well could be too. Good point, Punchy. Devin Peppers is here. Says, what plant should I plant my 45-gallon guppy breeding tank? I want some that hide, fry, and be good for shrimp and snails and plecos. What plant would you recommend for a breeding display tank, if any? Well, for shrimp, they really like Java moss, and it would be good for guppy fry to hide in. Yeah, so like something like that. I know hornwort's really good too. Shrimp love grazing on hornwort. And if you have enough of it in there, you know, the guppy fry can get in and out of it, because hornwort, you can tie it off with some of those little metal clasps. Lots of times when you order hornwort, it'll come with it, and then you can put it down under a rock or something, and it can grow like a planted one, you know. It doesn't root out or nothing like that, but then it grows up the back, and then it grows up to the top of the water, and then it can start going everywhere. Or you can use hornwort as a floating top plant, and it just grows into a great big bush at the top and starts growing down. And then, you know, like Java moss. Bare Bottom Aquarium says 2 times a week. That's all you feed yours? Yeah, lots of water sprite floating in the tank. I almost never see them. I don't know what to tell you, man. Jimmy says, do you have heaters in the shrimp tanks? If so, at what temp? My shrimp only tanks do not have heaters, and the tanks run around 72 degrees, and all 3 of them are breeding, so it's around room temp. You know, sometimes they get up to 74. My breeding for profit tank is heated, and it's around 76 degrees. And then this 40-gallon breeder over here is around 76 to 78. I think 78 is like the max for shrimp, though. You'd have to look that up. 76, I think, is what is getting close to the max. Michael Trevino, where did he go? You probably know by now, so I probably don't have to answer that. Let's see here. Guppy grass, yep. Guppy grass. I got a ton of guppy grass, and my shrimp love those. Even when the guppy grass breaks free and starts floating around, the shrimp will just stay on it and just go, mee. It's kind of funny. Catnip. Ay. Oh man, people that know that you can't mute your text. Funny, funny, funny. You funny guy. Jimmy asks, how long do you leave the food in there in the tank before removing? I have never had that problem before. I am more of an underfeeder. My son always overfeeds, even whenever I tell him don't. But I've never had that problem of overfeeding. I I kind of underfeed. But if you do have food in there that is left over, I think you're supposed to get it out within 24 hours to where it doesn't start ammonia spiking. So that would be what I would do. If I had some food in a tank and they hadn't ate it by the next day, I would go ahead and take it out. Bare Bottom Aquarium says, I'm getting ready to move coal shrimp from the 10 gallon to a 2.5 gallon, maybe 10 of them. Cool. Priscilla says, dank tanks fixative is like a sealant that gives it all a matte appearance and protects it. AC works perfect. I made Trevor help me get it out of the box since I am only 4 foot tall. Jimmy says, thanks for the food recommendations, Jeff. I also feed Pleco wafers, 1 wafer only, but they don't eat them. Ooh, I don't know. I've never had a problem. There's another food. I don't feed it very often, but hang on 1 second. Those of you that don't follow me on Instagram, my Super Reds made another clutch again this week. So tomorrow, it was Thursday night maybe. I think tomorrow or Monday they should hatch. Okay. Aquatic Arts, Fish Inverts and Aquatic Plants by mail. This is an Aquatic Arts invertebrate, fish, crab, snail, and more pellet food. I got that a long time ago because it said that crayfish liked it, and they do. Crayfish like it, but shrimp love it too. So it's going to be kind of hard. It's a little small pellet, but they are on it like Donkey Kong. It's almost like it's got crack in it or something. So I'm going to show you that again, Jamie. If you want to order you some of that stuff, all of my shrimp love that. So I haven't fed that in a while. Actually, it's probably been over a week or so. So actually, that's 5 different shrimp foods that I feed, and what I do is I rotate it, and I think that helps me not make them picky. You know, my thought process on that is if I give them different, and all of these things have different additives to them to, you know, different nutrition values and everything, you know. And my thought process on it is to keep them, you know, from getting bored with food, and keep them from getting picky. They just continually get different food. And, you know, like, also another thing that I feed my shrimp is green beans. On the days whenever I feed green beans, I put some green beans in the shrimp tanks too, and the shrimp love green beans. So that's another thing. You don't want to only feed green beans, but because they will get picky because they love it. Dun, 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 dun. I have that food also, Bare Bottom says. Let's see here. Devin Peppers, how long is your estimate on how long it will take for my 45-gallon tank to cycle? There's no magic number for how long it takes a tank to cycle. You have to just keep coming back and testing your water parameters. It has to go through a nitrogen cycle, and whenever the nitrate levels get down to 0, that's when it went through the cycle. So there's no magic number, man. You're just gonna have to be patient with it. And yeah, sorry, it's really tough. I'm assuming, Devin, you're a new fish keeper or newer, and it's tough because I can remember back in the old days when I was new, I mean like teenage years or early or late teens, I guess, thinking that you could just go, you could set stuff up, and what you do is you just, all of a sudden my mollies had ick and my tiger barbs had ick, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And you know, it's sad, but there's some places out there that, you know, and at least you're on the right track, that you know that a tank has to cycle and get beneficial bacteria, you know, built up in it, and it has to go through a cycle before it's safe for your fish to go in there. At least you know that, but it's still it's hard when you're a new fish keeper because you see that fish that you want so bad and you just want to get it and just boom, you know, and it just takes time. And my best aquarium in the whole entire house cycled for 6 to 8 months, somewhere around in there, before it even had a fish in it at all. And the only reason why is because I bought everything, I cycled everything, but I couldn't find the fish that I wanted. I wanted a certain fish. It was an Inler, and I wanted that fish for that aquarium. And it took me 6 to 8 months to find it. And the tank does better than any of my aquariums. So, Valley Fish says, did you pull the pleco eggs from the dad? Yes, I did. I went ahead and did it again. The biggest reason why is because I'm putting them in a grow out tank. Whenever they turn into wigglers, I'm putting them in a grow out tank. That's a breeding for profit tank, and I don't want a bunch of loose juvenile super reds in there. I want to keep my population down in there. And I pulled them out and put them in that little breeder box, and after they turn into wigglers and they start eating, you know, regular food and everything, I'll put them in that other grow out tank. And yeah, I did pull them again just because okay, Jimmy says, okay, I'll hit Aquatic Arts. Thanks. Need to also order some green jades as well. Ooh. Well, all other people are tall then. Yeah, I pulled the eggs both times. Ralph Cabrera is here. Jeff, how about giving shrimps bloodworms? I just logged in. I have never fed bloodworms to my shrimp, but I would assume they would like it. I would assume they would, but I've never tried it. But if maybe you're meaning on the guy here that can't get his shrimp to eat, maybe try bloodworms with them. So that's a good point. Priscilla says you're going for another hour, right? Yep, I'll be here till 9 p.m. Central. Be right back. Bare Bottom Aquarium says, Jimmy, I got that food from Aquatic Arts on Amazon also. Yeah, I think that's where I got mine too. And I mean, the shrimp love it. Bald and Dangerous says, Jeffroz FishKeeping. Need to go, Jeff. It's nearly 2 a.m. here. Time to hit the hay. Great live stream. Catch you later. Well, thanks for coming, Dougie. It's always nice to have you here. Hopefully you have a good night's sleep, man. Yeah, Jimmy says, cool, Bare Bottom. Pete says, my RCS love freeze-dried blackworms. Cool. Night peeps. Night Dougie. I am at the bottom of the chat, guys. So, while you guys are filling my chat back up, I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about Monday's video. Monday's video that's coming up is an update video on my black cherry shrimp tank. And yeah, I haven't showed you guys that in a while, and something has happened and I need to show you guys. And then Thursday's video that I've got coming up this week is where I add the livestock to the summer tubs. So if you want to see what I put in the summer tubs, go ahead and check that video out. That'll be Thursday. Today what I did in the fish room is I set up a planted aquarium. I had hardscape with rocks, which I haven't really done a lot of, some opani wood, and I did like a pea gravel is what I use for the substrate, mixed with crushed coral. And that tank right now is cloudy as all get out, so I've got that one clearing up. I'm making a video on that. I'm setting that up for my L182 Starlight plecos, and I think it's going to turn out to be nice. It looks really good. I just can't wait till it clears up. JH Aquatics is here. What is up, Joseph? He says, good evening, all. What is up, man? Jand and Killer says, what Endlers do you keep? I've got some that were sold to me as red stripe Endlers or red bar Endlers. I can't really remember. I've got a ton of those, and I've got this 40-gallon breeder right here. I've got probably 30 cleared out females in there, and the females are like a gray, and then they've got like a lot of like goldish looking scales on their sides, and then they've got like a yellow tip on their top fin and a yellow tip on their tail fin. And then the males, there's like 3 different variations of them. Some of them have the white forks on the tail, and some of them had the red forks on the tail. There's even one that's got like a lightning bolt red fork on the tail. It's pretty cool. And then I've got rainbow tiger antlers that I just recently got, probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And the rainbow tiger antlers, if you've never seen them before, Google those. They're pretty cool. Let's see here. Valleyfish says, what day number do you pull the pleco eggs? I usually pull them as soon as I see them. Just because this is just the second time I've done it. And the first time the male was acting all goofy. And I would say on this one, probably within a couple or 3 hours I pulled the eggs, because it happened on Wednesday night's live stream. I just kind of looked over my shoulder and I seen the male fanning on one of the caves. And earlier that day, my female was up on the Claydom. She wasn't in the cave. That night, I had forgot about it after my live stream. A couple hours went by, and I was actually buttoning everything up for the night. And I was like, oh, I forgot that male was fanning on my live stream earlier. So I went over, and sure enough, there was a clutch of eggs in there. And I went ahead and just lifted up on the cave a little bit, and he shot right out. And I pulled the eggs and set up my breeder box and everything. And I had kind of prepared for this a week to the day before I found these eggs. I thought, you know what, they're acting kind of funny again. I bet you it won't be long. My female started looking like she was in the mood. And I'd also done the pheromone thing last week, so I knew that it probably wouldn't take very long. But anyhow, I can't even remember what I was going to say. Oh, I had cleared out the breeder box. I'd put the ones from last clutch in their own tank, and got the breeder box all ready to go, so that, you know, whenever it happened, I could get it set up really quick. So I would say it's okay to do it within a day or two. I mean, these haven't hatched yet, and this is only my second time. I think last time it was like either 2 days. I'm estimating, of course, but I think it was like a couple of days after the eggs were in there whenever I pulled them last time. Priscilla says the Galaxy Plecos. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think Michael's here, so I'm sure he won't mind. Yeah, he's lurking, doing yard work with headphones. Shout if you need me. No, we'll just talk bad about you. You know, Priscilla's Galaxy Plecos. Trying to get Trevor to be triggered here. Devin Pepper says, in your for-profit tank, what do you feed? I'm trying to start a 45-gallon guppy and pleco and snails and shrimp for profit. I feed tons of stuff. I think on Wednesday stream you asked me what I feed, or maybe it was on one of my videos or something, but the Tetra color granules is what I feed predominantly for my fish. Okay? And then my plecos, of course, they won't live off of that, so I have to feed them food. So, you know, you got to get different foods for them. They eat a lot of vegetables, and then pellet foods and stuff like that. Yeah, I feed tons. I mean, I would have to do a whole video on that. But just on my shrimp, I found 5 foods that I feed my shrimp, you know. But in my breeding for profit tank, the biggest thing that I feed is the Tetra color granules. And then the shrimp can eat off of the leftovers and the little pickings. You know, I'm pretty, you know, I've got a ton of Malaysian trumpet snails in there. And I've got a ton of shrimp in there. So I'm really, you know, I feed a bunch, is what I'm trying to say. Adrian Castillo is here. He says, Jeff, sorry I haven't been on lately. Can't wait for the update on the shrimp. The shrimp I have is finally, okay, the tank I have is finally cycled, so I'll be getting with you in a week or so to see if you have any for sale. Cool. Yeah, I've got plenty of shrimp I can get to you, man. I am shrimp rich right now. Dank says, yep, you can tell when they are going to lay. Yeah, you can tell. I mean, they just get fat. Joseph says, my angel spawned. I have angelfish eggs in a tumbler now. Was going to let them finish eating them, but I felt I should save some to give them a chance. That's cool, man. And then it seems like you had some crystals this week that hatched too. Like you got some shrimplets, I think, if I remember right. Dank says, you hear that, Mike? The pheromone thing. That's funny. Okay, Devin says, and I have a question on wood. I got a thing of wood which is mint and was used in a boa enclosure. Is it safe to use the wood if I boil it? What do you think about that, Dank? He's got some wood. Devin has got some wood that was used in a boa enclosure. Is it safe to use the wood if he boils it? I'm not really sure. I'm assuming the boa is a boa constrictor, and I'm not sure if they would spray the wood and it would soak down, that even if he boiled it, if it would come out. I don't know, man. I would say no, but Dank is a reptile dude, and he's got some snakes, and he would know better, and he does a lot of his driftwood gathering, so he'll chime in here in a second. Dank says, Jeffro, the stream is coming along good. My Viv, not your stream. Your stream sucks. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. 54 Punchy says, moving albino cory fry into a bigger tank. They're ready to start selling them. Have moved 40 so far in this batch, and I have a couple more batches growing in other tanks. Man, I love those albino cories. Do you have a website, Punchy, or anything like that? Here, let me put you as a mod. So I added you as a mod, Punchy. If you would, if you've got a website or how we could get a hold of you to buy those, because I might be a buyer for those. Okay, so Devin, Dank says, yep, boil it. So if you boil the wood that you got, from the boa enclosure, it should be good. So JH Aquatic says, I have yellow King Kong really shrimplets. That is awesome, man. Offspring of your YKKs. Cool. Yes, triggered. Adrian says, what do you do in your shrimp tanks water parameter wise? Nothing different than I do any of my other tanks. All the shrimp that I have are Neocaridina, and they are able to accept all kinds of parameters. You might want to look up Neocaridina species, what pH levels and stuff like that, and what temperatures and stuff like that, but for the most part I've never done anything different. You know, Michael, you smell like chicken. Kind of odd for me to just say that out of the blue, don't you think, Mike? Do you think someone would have told me to say that? So Michael says, I tried the pheromone thing and no luck. How long ago did you try it? Because mine always takes like 5 or 6 days. Bare Bottom Aquarium says, watching on my phone and my stupid boss keeps texting me on my day off. I called my boss today on his day off because I saw one of my competitors that I'm a friend with, and he was telling me about one of the guys that's in another market of ours, how he's not been doing very good in his sales, and his sales are really down for the year. So I called my boss and told him that, just because I knew that I would forget. Dank says, love you too, brother. Okay. I don't know what that's about. Punchy says, I don't have a website, but you can get a hold of me on my YouTube account. I need to get some sold for sure. These little ones I'm moving right now are about 3/4 to 1 inch now. Cool. Priscilla says, I need more yellows for my Inler tank. Joseph from JH Aquatic says, "Oh Jeff, thank you for the fund. I saw you gave to Priscilla art GoFundMe she created. Really, thank you so much. Means a lot." No problem, man. Always, I'm always there to help people in the fish fam. I mean, I support a lot of people out there, and it's a good cause. And Priscilla, if you are in the chat right now, what Joseph is talking about is Priscilla has started a GoFundMe account, or GoFundMe, whatever. It's a GoFundMe for Joseph from JH Aquatics. And as you guys know, Joseph is the one that does the Fish Fam News on Sundays, and he's really, really good for the fish community and the fish family. He supports everyone out there, and he's getting ready to go to Peru, I believe, next month, and his camera is on the fritz. And this is a lifetime, this is a once in a lifetime thing. I mean, he's maybe went to Peru before, but I doubt it. And you know, if you really thought right now that you worked really hard to go on a trip like this, I mean, because if you guys don't know, it costs a lot of money to do, and he saved and he worked really, really hard to save up the money for this. And his camera is going on a fritz, and he has to have a camera, you know. And Priscilla, yep, she linked it right here. If you guys could go over there and show Joseph some love. I did. I donated, and I urge you guys to. We're only asking to reach 500, and I think today, whenever I looked at it, because I got an email thanking me, I think we were up to just under $100 on it. But it would be really awesome if we could raise some money to help him get this camera. He doesn't need the whole amount either. The camera that he's getting costs around $1,100, and we're asking to bump it up to $500 to help him out and get that camera so that he can capture this trip of a lifetime. I mean, to go to Peru, he's got to be able to capture it, you know. If you guys would follow the link, give anything. If you can give anything, that would be awesome. So, yep, no problem, man. I was glad to do it. And thanks to Priscilla for starting it. That was really smart. All right, looks like I am down to the bottom of the chat again. That is amazing. What are you doing back there, Dozer? Dozer, you have a rough day again? You have a rough day? Huh? Did you have a rough day? Okay, you can go back to sleep. Oh, he's wanting to come and see me. Oh, you gonna lay down? All right. You must have had a rough day again. Can't tell which way he is. Oh, you're out of camera angle now. There you are. Look, you're on the internet, Dozy. 54 Punchy says, we need to post that during your live stream tomorrow. Bare Bottom Aquarium says, Dozer, love that name. Yeah, whenever I got Dozer, he was already named, and lots of times over the year I've gotten dogs that were already named. They were puppies, you know, and he was, he was like 6 weeks old when I got him, and lots of times you're like, that name just doesn't fit him. But Dozer is a pig, and the reason why they named him Dozer is because he was the biggest one of the litter, and when they would feed him, he would just doze his way through like a bulldozer and doze all the other puppies out of the way to get to the food. So that is why he's named Dozer, and it fits him perfectly. JH Aquatic says, so what fish would you like to breed next? Well, what I'm working on right now is the rainbow tiger endlers. I think they would go over really good at my LFS because he likes endlers and he sells them really good, and I think he's looking for different ones, and I showed him pictures of these, and that's what I'm working on right now. I've got them in my summer tubs, and I've got the temperature right, I've got the guppy grass right, I've got everything right. I've got a 90-gallon tub that I've got them in right now, and that is what I'm working on breeding for fish right now. So Q Aquatics is in the house. She says, hey all, what is up, Susie? Welcome to the live stream. It's always good to have you here. Priscilla says it's running for like 9 more days anyhow. I will make it so it pays out direct to him. Everyone share it, please. Punchy says hi to Susie. Bare Bottom Aquarium says, at JH Aquatics, I'll be moving along the Greg Sage line of trout. Goodies next. Cool. Those even sound awesome. Hank says, noise. Noise. I can't believe I'm at the bottom of the chat. I can't believe I'm at the bottom of the chat and Dank hasn't heard me say that and spam the chat. Oh, what else is new? You notice my surprise is out of here, Dank. The surprise that I can't talk about on my live stream. It's out of here. Where did it go? What bottom of the chat? Yeah. My surprise is gone though, Dank. Where did it go? Bare Bottom Aquarium says, I waited 2 years for juvies. Yeah. That's the way it is on a lot of it. Is you gotta be patient. Bottom of the ocean. Where'd certain number 3 go? I moved it to the end of the stand on the video that I was working on today. It's perfect out there. That room is really warm. And I had to keep on unplugging the light and the heater over and over and over again. The area where I had it plugged in at was right here next to the breeder box that I got going on. And it's also the same plug-in that I plug my lights for my live stream. So I had to keep on unplugging the light all the time. And plus it was kind of sticking out. And the only reason why I went in this room to begin with was because it's warmer in this room. But Mike says, what's your favorite color? Orange. I like orange a lot. Michael Trevino says, when are you going to breed my fish? Okay. I don't know what you're talking about there. I didn't think you really kept fish. I waited 2 years for juvies, bottom of the ocean. Bob says, just back from JH's GoFundMe. Thanks, Priscilla, for starting it. Thanks for going over there, Bob. I really appreciate that. That was awesome of you. Punchy says, I have Cory fry, drape fin barb fry, daisy rice fish fry, Fairlawella catfish fry, and Kabotai rasbora fry that I am growing out right now. Wow, that is awesome. Blue, no, I mean green. Priscilla, thank you, Bob Kaler. Michael Trevino says, what kind of underwear do you have on right now? Who said I was wearing any underwear, man? Gotcha. Priscilla MK Art is my favorite. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Michael Trevino, how do you get your head so shiny? He heard the I'm at the bottom of the chat comment while he was doing his yard work. And yeah. Yeah, when are you gonna breed our plecos? How do I grow a beard like yours? It's a process, actually. It really is a process. Fish fam love, that is right, man. What's the name of your favorite Greek god? Zeus, I guess. Who's your favorite fish fam person? Oh God, I don't know if I should say that. I don't even know if I have a favorite. I like you all. Priscilla says, it's me, Michael. Shut up. Michael says, guess what color underwear I'm wearing? Sweaty color? How tall is Priscilla? 4 foot? Adrian Castillo says, favorite pleco. That is really hard because I love all plecos. But the favorite pleco I have right now Even though those L183s of mine are going to be awesome someday when they grow out and they lose their spots and they got that deep, like slate colored black, you know, even though they're going to be really cool, those L182s are awesome. And I will have an update video on those. Today I started making their tank. I set up their tank, and here in a couple of weeks or so, I'm going to put some cycled stuff in it to get it going quicker. But I would say in a couple weeks, I'll put them in that tank in there, and then I'll get you guys an update video on them. And yeah, they're just so, the spots on them, it's almost like the spots look three-dimensional. It's almost like they pop off of them in real life. I mean, the L182 Starlight Plecos, they're really awesome. That white starlight pattern on them is just awesome. Bare Bottom Aquarium says, my favorite fish fam is Caleb Overhauls. That is a good choice, man. He's pretty cool. That picture that Candy shared on social media the other day, he is sitting in a bay window reading a book or something like that, and it was just a really cool picture. She said that he's found his favorite spot. They just got done moving, and I thought that was really cool. And Punchy says, perfect answer, Bare Bottom. Cool. Adrian says, I'm looking at getting an L128. Those are awesome. Priscilla says, 5.1 still ... Galaxy ! And Joseph says, thank you, Bob Kaler. Thank you, sir, from the bottom of my heart. Mike says, okay, I'm out of questions. LMAO. That is so funny. Manifold Redneck. Oh, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. At the bottom of the chat again, Michael. That's all you got? That's all you got? Man, that was nothing. I stayed right in the chat that time. Although there are only 18 watching. You and Dank are the ones that ask for these longer streams, you know. So I'm here for 2 hours. We've still got like 45 minutes. And that's all you got. Got to do the yard work, though. It is getting awful late to be doing yard work, but I guess it is 7 there, so you've still got some daylight. Adrian says, has anyone ever used the weighted screws used for veggies for plecos? I've never used anything like that. I use like forks. I just stab forks in it. So like if I'm doing cucumber or zucchini or something like that, I just stab a fork in it and it lowers right down. And then on my Pleco Versus videos, I've been using like zip ties on the 2 melons. I use zip ties and then some Mexican beach pebbles. The rare Mexican beach pebbles. Those are really nice. I use those in that aquarium that I scaped today too, and they're really cool. Lumpy Dog says, going off the rails on a crazy train. Priscilla says, it's hot as hell here. Yeah, it's hot here too. I would say up in the 90s today and really humid. I think around midnight we're going to get a big thunderstorm. Dank says, are you ever going to get frogs? I'll get back with you on that, Dank. Bare Bottom Aquarium says, I use plant weights. Yep. Susie Q says, I stick a fork in it. Priscilla says, are you ever going to get to the bottom of the chat? Do you like pizza? What's your favorite color? I love pizza. And Michael already asked me what my favorite color was, but I would say it's blue. What is your favorite kind of pizza? Ooh, that's a toss-up. I eat pizza a lot. I could eat pizza every day. I don't get burned out on pizza. I get burned out on fast food, but my favorite pizza is, we got a Pizza Ranch here, so I don't know if you guys have Pizza Ranch there where you're at, but they make a skillet crust, so it's like a little bit, it's kind of like a pan crust, but they cook it in a skillet with oil, I guess. So the crust is real crispy on the outside edge and kind of oily, and it is a buffalo chicken, and it's really good. Adrian says, I just bought a few. I've been using forks, but I don't like the way it looks. Hey, to everyone his own. Pizza. Michael says, if a red house is made of red brick and a blue house is made of blue brick, what is a greenhouse made of? A greenhouse is usually made of like that clear solar stuff. You said orange is your favorite color. Oh yeah, I did tell you that my favorite color was orange. I was just meaning your dot. Pizza Ranch is gross AF. Don't say pineapple. Allison Change that is in the house. What is up, Allison? And she says, don't say pineapple. And I read it. Orange and blue. Orange and blue. Yeah, I don't like the Broncos, though. They're orange and blue, aren't they? Okay, so Allison then says, pew. Dank Tanks. Mike, you go eat some Taco John's and be a food critic. Priscilla says, yep, the Pizza Ranch in Loveland is gross. Let's take Jeff there when he comes here. We do have a couple of pizza. Actually, the one in our town is probably the worst one in the state, I would say. There's some that are perfect. There's one in Marshalltown, Iowa, that I don't think their buffet could ever get empty. The way they do it, they've kind of got these little pizza oven heater things. You okay? What's wrong? Lay down. Hey. Lay down. Chill out. They got these little pizza heater things that have these doors on it, and when they see a pizza get low, they bring a new one out, just boom, 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 and it's always really clean in there. But yeah, I'm sure there are some bad ones. Michael says plastic, close enough. Raph says I use the metal clips and they do work good. Joseph says in the islands we don't have fast food, thankfully. Mike says I actually like Taco John's. I do too. I've been getting their chips and queso, and that queso of theirs is good. It's got like beans mixed in with it, and like pico de gallo mixed in with it. It's really good. I worked there back in the day. Priscilla says he worked everywhere. And if you worked somewhere and you still like the food, that's saying something. So that's pretty cool. Michael gets around town, Q Aquatics says, any thoughts or tricks for croaking gourami in a tub? I don't know what croaking gourami is, so is that the same thing as getting them to breed? Sorry, Susie. I've only kept gourami here for the last 6 weeks or so. So and mine aren't even like the giant gouramis. Mine are the dwarf gouramis. So I don't know what croaking gourami actually means. Sorry, Susie. Michael Trevino, what word is lighter than a feather and even the strongest man can't break it? I don't know. Oh, Allison says pineapple on pizza is a sin against the natural world. Yeah, there's only one person in my whole entire family that likes that, and it's my youngest son. But he's cool if we don't get it on there, so pineapple on pizza is awesome. Priscilla says couch pizza. Dank says JH need to franchise a McDonald's. Allison says Taco John's queso equals processed cheese paste. Yeah, it's not as good as like queso at like we've got a place here in town called Mi Ranchito, and their queso is like really good. It's like actually addictive good. And then I've made queso at home before too, but it's different. It's not too bad. Daryl Dimer says Taco John's is not that bad. Yeah, Daryl had a steak at a Texas Roadhouse, I believe, this week. Him and his daughter were there, and that steak looked awesome. And he was showing it off on the internet. Dank Tanks, I like pineapple on pizza. Michael Trevino says silence. Michael Trevino says that one was lame. And then Priscilla says super lame. Heather Nielsen is here. Hi, I'm so late. Yeah, I started a new time, Heather. On Saturdays and Wednesdays, my new time is 7 p.m. Central. On Wednesdays, Joel, my time goes 5 to 7 Central, and then I'll go 7 to 8, and then Dan's Fish goes on at 8. So I've got 7 o'clock is when I'm going to go on Wednesday nights. And then Saturday nights, I figured I would bump up to 7 p.m. Central and go live then, so that it was easy for you guys to remember. So now I'm going live on Wednesday nights at 7 because baseball season is over. I do have a county tournament this week, but we don't play on Wednesday. So 7 o'clock on Wednesdays and 7 o'clock on Saturdays, and that is the Central Standard Time. I'm just going for 2 hours tonight is the only reason why I'm still going. Everybody saying hello to Heather, and Dank says, sup, Joel? Oh, Joel from Corvus Oskin is here. He says, sup, broski? What is up, Joel? I love Friday night. Okay, Friday, Joel had to miss on his normal Friday night live stream because he's been having some battles with his vehicle here lately, and he's got a baby coming up, so he had to get him a little bit of side job going. And Friday he was going to miss his live stream, and all of a sudden out of the blue I get a notification that Joel is live, and I'm like, oh, okay. He went ahead and went live, but the name of the video was Corvus Asian is back or something like that. And Joel evidently had left his phone on the charger at the co-op, and Jimmy picked up his phone and went live on Joel's channel on his phone, and it was awesome. And then Joel comes in and catches him, and he's like, what, are you live? It was really cool. I loved it. It was awesome. So that was really cool. The best live stream you've ever had, Joel. No, I'm kidding. No, if you guys aren't, and I'm sure most of you guys that are here have, Joel over at Corvus Oskin has a really cool YouTube channel. The dude has been around for a long time. He knows his stuff. I've learned a lot from him. I mean, he is a master, and he wouldn't say that, but he knows his stuff. He's really a nice guy, too. All right. Let's see here. Where am I in the chat? Scarlet. Okay. Allison Chain says, my husband likes pineapples on pizza. It makes for a difficult marriage. Yeah, I would say. Because, you know, I've tried it a couple of times and it's just gross, so I just stay away from it. Lumpy Dog says, Heather, are congratulations appropriate? LOL. Dank says, it could have been better with a 1 steak per something. Stop before you begin to cry. Joel, you got your phone back. Joseph, that was funny. Saren TV says, good morning from India. Well, good morning, Saren. Dank Tank says, yep, I can second that. Wicked channel. Yep, he does have a wicked channel. Allison Chain says, Corvus rules. Dank Tank says, good dude also. Priscilla says, did you ever have Swiss food? Seems like I had Swiss meatballs one time that were really good, and I can't remember where I had it. Corvus says, grilling burgers now. Bob from Steamfod Aquatics, he stopped in for a second earlier, and he said he was grilling burgers too. I need to probably get the grill out. I gotta grill some burgers. I wouldn't be a YouTuber if I didn't. Swiss Miss, yeah, I drink some Swiss hot cocoa every winter. And then I put some Swiss marshmallows on the top of it. The Swiss meatballs are, I've never made them before, but they're a meatball that has like a different flavor, and then there's some type of white sauce that goes all over them. And I don't even know what's in the white sauce, but I had them at some restaurant one time and they were really good. Dank says Gligenberries. That's the first time I've ever seen that word in my whole entire life. Priscilla says Swiss Miss is so far from Swiss quality. Are you Swiss, Priscilla? Swedish meatballs, yeah. Swedish meatballs are a little bit different. At least the ones that my mom used to make, they have like a red sauce on them that are like almost like a barbecue. But the Swiss meatballs that I had like a white cream sauce on them or something. I'm at the bottom of the chat again, guys. The bottom of the chat. Time to get a drink. You okay back there, Dozer? Did you have a long day? Dozer, did you have a rough day? Huh? His tongue's out. I wish I could zoom. Can you guys see his tongue? Like, his tongue is sticking out. You guys probably can't hear me. I got the microwave. Yeah, I've got the microwave away from me. The microphone away from me. I knew that you had an accent that was different, but I couldn't pinpoint it. So you were Swiss. Cool. Ricola. Dank Tank says Ricola. So those are Swiss cough drops. I have those quite often. I love those, actually. And Mike comes in with a bashing of Priscilla. She's not Swiss. She's short. And Priscilla is crying. She's crying. Oh no, it's joy. She used the wrong emoji and it's the joy, so it's the tears of joy. Oh, that was funny. Dank says he gets Swisher Sweets. Yep, the old Swisher Sweets. Heather says Dozer is adorable. Yep, he's my main man. Aren't you, Dozy? He's my main man. Yep, Dozer is the most obedient and friendly dog I've ever owned. Dank says shoop. Excuse me, shoop shoop. Bear Bottom thinks that's funny with the LOL Dank. And then Corvus Oskin, Joel says, I'm from outer space. I believe it. On Joel's live stream, if you guys want to go back and watch it today, he talks about his chickens. They've got some mites right now that he's been dealing with. And he came up with some good things. I used to raise chickens when I was a kid. Well, I helped do the chores for the chickens as a kid. And I wanted to bring it up on his live stream, but it was going to be too much typing. So since Joel is in this live stream, I'll tell the story. So our chickens got mites one time. And my dad went to the feed store and got some dip. It was a mite dip. And he bought a 55-gallon drum of this stuff. And he brought it home, rolled it back out of his truck, and rolled it back by the chicken coop fence. And took the lid off and had me and Mom start grabbing chickens and bringing to him. And he started dipping them, and we just started letting them loose. Well, my dad, you know, God rest his soul, he didn't realize, I was going to say Dad being the dipstick that he was, but no, you can't talk about people that are no longer on this earth that way. I mean, he just didn't know that you're supposed to water it down. I mean, this stuff, whatever was in it, was pure. I mean, you took a breath of it, it burned your eyes, and you took your breath and everything. And it took them until after the third chicken to figure out, wow, because the chickens, one just took off and just started running, and it ran right into the chicken coop full on and just boom, just dead. And the other two just started running around like they were drunk. And it's, you know, we always had a laugh about it, but now that you look back on it, it's kind of like, wow, that's terrible. But you have to water it down like 1 to 5 or something like that. You know, I mean, you had to have 5 parts water for one of that, and Dad did not know that, and it killed off 3 or 4 of our chickens before he realized it. But the dip did work. It got rid of the mites. Seems like I had walked out of the room and I came back in, and he said something about injections or something like that, so he was having to try that. So But we had gotten a dip that did work. You just have to water it down. We have Spaceballs starring Mel Brooks. Starring Michael Jordan, duh. That was Space Jam, Michael. Spaceballs is a totally different movie in the 80s. Space Jam with Michael Jordan is in the 90s. Priscilla MK Art says, you got it coming for you, redneck. Uh-oh, I must have said something bad inadvertently again. And Rick Moranis, wrong movie, yep. Hey, Mike was raised with the chickens. Gotta run, have a good night, everyone. Your mom's a chicken. Chicken tender. Thanks for stopping in, Mike. I know you're a busy guy right now, and I really appreciate it. And we'll chat with you later, man. Thanks. Lumpy Dog says, may the Swartz be with you. And then Dank says, you're a Tyson chicken. And Michael cannot leave. Says, yep, farm raised and full of hormones. Dank says, free range, she's all over. Sorry I don't speak short, Priscilla. You both are so dead. Okay, uh-oh. I must have said something. Maybe she's not saying that to me, but she said redneck, so that made it think that it was me. Rocks Tanks is in the house. If you take an egg from a chicken, would it be a chicken abortion or chicken napped? Boy, those chicken, the egg come before the chicken and the chicken come before the egg. And now, chicken abortion or chicken napped. Wow. Mind blown. Dank says, what is the word? Dank says, some foreign Swiss verbiage. Yeah, who knows. Dank says, yo, Jeffro, have you met the American Pickers? No, I never have. I've been by their places, but never have got to meet them. They're cool dudes, though. Frank's a little weird, but they're cool. I like their show. I haven't watched it in a long time, but gotta love their show. Priscilla says, Arschloch? Google it, German. Priscilla says, nope, not you, Trevor. Okay, cool. I was like, what did I say this time? Last night on somebody's stream, and I probably shouldn't even say this, I said the wrong word to Priscilla. I was just joking around. Hey, Priscilla, something and other, and she was like, my mom used to call me that. Don't ever call me that. I was like, oh my God. And I still haven't told Mike what it was. He wanted to know. Rocks Tank says bird is a word. And Corvus comes up with the proper terminology. It's chicken ovulation. That is correct. That is the scientific word for the egg coming out. Chicken ovulation. True statement. Allison Chains. I forgot to hit the like button, so I just did. Thank you. Last week you said something. I can't remember. You mobbed the like button or something like that. It was kind of funny. Priscilla says, Dank and Trevor ruined the chat. Zipper mouth. I've never seen that emoji before. It's kind of funny. I'm like way over here like this, like zipper mouth. I'm like, whoa. I'm way out of frame. Dank says, fetal abduction sounds like a good metal band. LOL. Good. That's what I'm here for. Ruin the chat. That is funny. I can't believe Michael didn't stay for longer. He must really have something important to attend to tonight. I let the first hour pass. I can't believe we've still got 30 minutes left. Good grief. It makes you sit here and think. When you're sitting on this side, and I know you wouldn't know this, Dank, because you don't live stream, you're scared, but just think of like that one at the holidays. Was that around Christmas or Thanksgiving that Corey did 8 hours? And I was in and out of his all day long. But could you imagine sitting there for 8 hours on a live stream? Now, his channel's a little bit bigger, so I would think that, you know, and every time I went to it, it was going pretty good. But my channel would die. There would be death if I went for 8 hours. I mean, I just know it would. 54 Punchy says, was butchering chickens one time and there was an accident on the highway in front of the house. Just tossed chickens inside door and went to help. Afterwards, one of the officers asked if he could wash up. Opened up the door and he stopped when he saw the pile of headless chickens. I told him he should come on Wednesdays. We do cows. That is hilarious. I love hearing stories like that, Punchy. That is so funny. Oh, gosh, that's funny. Priscilla says, how do you cook Hot Pockets? Well, you got to carefully open the package to where they don't fall on the floor. And then once you get them out of the package, you open the little cardboard heater majigger, and then you slide them in there. You put them in the microwave on the aquarium safe plate that's already in the microwave. You turn it on for 2 minutes, you pull it out, and then you leave the oozy cheese on the plate. Am I right, Dank? Romaine Paul says 2 minutes in the microwave. That's right. What? Dank says, he burned me. Straight roasted rotisserie and smoked all in one barbecue grill. Okay, I don't remember burning you. Lumpy Dog says, what platies do you keep? Well, I've got a number of different types. In my aquarium back here, I've got like, I think they were bumblebee platies when I bought them, but I've looked up bumblebee platies since then and they don't really look like it. Let me look real quick. Bumblebee platy. Let's see here. Yeah, they're like a bumblebee platy, but they're not yellow and black. They're like an orange and black. So I'm not sure if you can really consider them bumblebee platy, but then I mixed them with some rainbow platies and some sunset platies, and I'm getting really cool. And I can do an update video on those before long. I was going to do an update video on those like a couple of weeks ago, and I was going to kind of do it. I was going to thin down my plecos. I've got them grown completely out to where I can tell what trios I want and stuff. But that tank right there is kind of the star of my pleco versus food videos that I've been doing. And if I thin that tank down on my plecos to where there's only like 5 or 6, it wouldn't be as cool of a show. And I'm going to use those guys predominantly for my pleco versus videos. I'm going to sneak in a super red bristlenose here every once in a while, and then like last week I did the cucumber versus pleco and I used my albinos. But long story short, I was going to make a video on when I took all the guppy grass out of there, and I was going to thin down my plecos and talk about that, and then I was going to update you guys on the platies. But there's tons of different ones in there. And then my son's got some black platies in his room, and then he's got some jade blue and jade green and like a brownish. They're all like a different variant of rainbow. Bare Bottom Aquarium says, YouTube sucks. I leave likes and don't watch all of the upload, then come back to watch the rest, and my like isn't there anymore. Ooh, that is weird. That is very weird. I don't know that I've had that happen before. Priscilla MK Art says, headless chicken run forever. Yeah, we were butchering some chickens once when I was a kid. And this little banny rooster, if you guys don't know what banny chickens are, they're a smaller chicken. And it was a little banny rooster, and he thought he was the cock of the walk, man. I mean, he was just plain mean. And my dad butchered him, cut his head off, and I mean, that thing, it was the freakiest thing. They do. They run all over the place. Dank says he did not describe how to cook Hot Pockets. You push a button on the microwave, dude, and the microwave does like a radiant heat and cooks the Hot Pocket for you. Dank expressionless emojis ×3. Okay, John Bedker was here and he retracted his message. Lumpy Dog says, who's Priscilla calling Hot Pockets? Priscilla says, haha, he's answering the question with a joy with tears emoji. Dank Tank says, Jeffro, you said you don't live stream. You scared. LOL. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did burn you, didn't I? I didn't really mean it as a terrible burn, but sorry, bro. I'll make it up to you. Joel says 2 minutes in the micro and then throw it in the trash. Hot Pockets. You're probably right, Joel. You're probably right. Romaine Paul says, my albino bristlenose are in the cave breeding right now. Awesome, man. Gotta love it. Priscilla says, trash. LS Aquariums is in the house. Says, what's up, Jeffro? And everyone, how are things? Doing good, man. We've been live here for about an hour and 40 minutes, man. I'm starting to go live at 7 on Saturdays and Wednesdays now instead of the later time. And it's been a good one. There's been a lot of people in and out. Everybody saying hi to LS Aquariums. Let's see here. Feeling like Foghorn Leghorn in here. I said. Feeling like Foghorn Leghorn here. Susie says, binge watching at Turtle Girl. Love it. Dank Tank says, burned. Heather says, LOL. Okay. Jan and Keller says, what current projects you got going on, Jeffro? Well, today I set up a 40-gallon breeder, and I've got rocks in it, and I've got wood in it, Mopani wood, and then I've got, I think I ended up with 6 different types of plants in there, and I'm going with like a pea gravel and crushed coral substrate. I'm trying to think of anything else in there. It's a pleco tank that I got set up for, and it turned out really good. And then I was going to tonight, but it might be tomorrow night, I'm going to do another pleco versus food video, but it won't come out, both of these videos won't come out for a couple weeks. The tank that I set up today was for my L182 Starlight plecos, but they won't go in there for a few weeks now. Priscilla says, since you like to explain the emojis, thinking, grapes, bread, skier, Earth, Africa, and radioactive, with the CH on the end of it. Lumpy Dog says, pizza rolls, bake them until they burst open. Ever notice how the inside of a pizza roll is filled with fish guts? Oh, yeah. I did have a fish explode on me when I was trying to catch it in the net one time. I had it pinned up against the glass inadvertently, and its guts pressed out of its stomach. It was gross. LS Aquarium says, you just killed my soul. LOL. Priscilla says, Lumpy Dog, thanks for ruining my dinner. Rocks Tank's too funny, Lumpy Dog. And Adrian says, Jeff, if you want, I can get you some dwarf sage. I've got a ton. Sounds good. Jan and Keller says, you build the stand for the 40s or store-bought? Actually, that's a good question. I found these, found 2 brand new Aqueon 40-gallon breeders on Marketplace for 60 bucks, and it said with stand. And I mean, these 40-gallon breeders still had the stickers on them. You okay? Lay down. You okay, Dozy? They still had the stickers on them, and all it said in the description was stand. Well, I jumped on it right away. It didn't matter. I mean, $60 for 2 40-gallon breeders, and I didn't even know they were brand new. I just thought, wow, used tanks, I'm going to get them. And I got there, and it's a homemade stand, but it's made pretty well. I didn't even paint it, though. I'm not really going on for looks, but to answer your question, It's a homemade stand out of 2x4s. Priscilla MK Art. That CH was a Swiss flag. Oh, it didn't show up. Liberty Bell Cichlid says, what is up? What is up with you? Thanks for coming. We've been going here, getting close to 2 hours now. Going live earlier on Saturday nights and Wednesday nights now, going at 7 Central. So we've been going for a while here. Rox Tank says, pizza rolls with tartar sauce. No, I'm not seeing it, man. Punchy says, I love 40-gallon breeders. Yep, I do too. These two that I just bought will make my third, and I love them. I really do. I like the footprint. Yeah. Yeah, Jan, it was a nice deal. I mean, it almost makes you wonder. I mean, if they would have been a little more expensive, I would have thought that they went and got them at the $1 per gallon sale, yada yada yada, but this is cheaper than the $40 or $1 per gallon sale. Lumpy Dog says, Rocks Tanks, I've got to try that now. Oh boy. Nice. Priscilla says, question, defrost bloodworms and leave them out for 2 hours. Are they bad for the fish? Can fish get food poisoning? I have never fed bloodworms. The only frozen food that I feed is the Repashy gel stuff. I freeze it, but I thaw it out right, before I feed. But I've never fed bloodworms, so I would do some checking on that. I don't know. Yeah, Punchy says a 40-gallon breeder actually holds 44.9 gallons, and I didn't know that. I think you had told me that once before. Somebody had anyhow, and that's pretty cool actually. Dank Tank says even I can't do that. Priscilla says yachty ya. Allison Chain says I have a black Asian upside down catfish and a 40-gallon breeder. He stopped eating his inler coals. Okay, if you mean in general, Priscilla, my Repashy, I accidentally left it, because what I do, and I've got some right here. No, it isn't in this tank. I've got some floating in one of my tanks. That's how I thaw them out. I put them in a Ziploc. Straight out of the freezer, I put them in a Ziploc, and then I float them on my tanks and let them thaw out. And I've got some somewhere. I was planning on feeding them today, but I probably will just put them in the fridge. But I've accidentally left some overnight, and I went ahead and fed them, and it didn't do anything. But with the bloodworms, I don't really know. If you're just talking a couple of hours or a few hours, what did you say? 2 hours, are they bad for the fish? I would highly doubt it. I would highly doubt 2 hours would hurt them. Lumpy Dog says, okay. Lumpy Dog says, I defrost my bloodworms in a solo cup of aquarium water before feeding to fish. Allison Chains, now there's an inler colony in there. And he probably has made friends with them. It's kind of like with Corey's Mabu Puffer. I can't even think of the name right now, but his Mabu Puffer in that great big, what is it, like a 400-gallon tank in his shop won't touch the guppies, but he could, It's kind of like that. He just leaves them alone. Bare Bottom Aquarium says, why no bloodworms? My local fish store doesn't sell them, and I would have to go to like Des Moines, which is about an hour away, or Iowa City, which is an hour and a half away. And then I don't know if you could really order them and they stay frozen, you know what I mean? So that's about the biggest reason why I don't have any supply around. That's it though. I know that they're really good for your fish. The other Bob Kaler says, Mile High Plecos email. Michael asked me to email about super reds and dummy me can't recall it. Okay, Priscilla's quick on the draw. There you go. I was going to look it up and do it, but Priscilla, the best mod in the stream tonight, is on the stick. Allison Chain says they act like ditherfish. He becomes very confident. It's cool. That is awesome. JH Aquatics says, was it a bad idea to put the tumbler back in the tank with the fish? The male angel keeps guarding the tumbler and trying to get to the eggs. I've never... Boy, Dozer. Good grief. I've never done that. I've never spawned angels, so I don't know for sure. I would definitely keep an eye on it, though. I would say people do that all the time. Good grief, I can taste it, Dozer. Jeesh. Jeesh, it's terrible. Yeah, I don't really know what to tell you there, Joseph. Keep an eye on it, though, because how tough is your tumbler would be the only thing I would worry about, because let's say take the tumbler out of the scenario. If this was in the natural, he would be guarding the eggs, am I right? I'm assuming that's what male angelfish do. If he can't get to them, if the tumbler is pretty tough, if he can't get to him, I think it would be okay. I mean, watch his behavior. That's the only thing I would say, but I have never done that, so I don't know. Priscilla says, yes, JH Aquatics, put it in a different tank. The parents will stress out like crazy. Wow. Yep, that's the only thing, is he's freaking out. So Priscilla says to go ahead and put it in a different tank, and it makes sense. If they're going to stress out, then yeah, you got to do it, man. Really glad you were here, Priscilla. Thank you. Punchy says, I have accidentally left bloodworms on the counter all day and refroze them. Was not real hot in the house though. Joseph said it's a clear plastic. Priscilla says they are scared something is up, so he wants to eat them ASAP. It is a cobalt tumbler. Yeah, Priscilla is saying probably a good idea to go ahead and move them because they're going to freak out. The parents are freaking out and it will stress them out big time. Priscilla says, I've spawned angels plenty of times and have eggs every couple of weeks. Great. Thank you, Priscilla. Yeah, you rock, girl. It's really exciting that you've spawned them, though. It makes me want to get some. Punchy says, I have some Farlowella fry that are about 2 weeks old. Parents laid eggs again. Do you think there would be any problem adding some new babies in with the 2-week-old fry? Where the 2-week-old fry at? I've had some Farlowella fry that are about 2 weeks old. Parents laid eggs again. Do you think there would be any problem adding new babies in with the 2-week-old fry? As long as the 2-week-old fry are somewhere else, I doubt that there would be a problem. But I have never kept Farlowella. I've never kept that before, so I don't know. But I would think a 2-week-old fry would be harmless, but you might want to check into that. You might want to look a little deeper. But 2-week-old fry of any species the only thing is depends on how quickly your fry grow. So like, let's say you put brand new babies in with that 2-week fry, but the 2-week fry gets to eating age before these new babies, you know what I'm saying? So that'd be about the only thing I would think of. Joseph says, Priscilla, I will message you. Priscilla says, angels are like rabbits, got like 4 pairs. Now you're welcome to take one when you come. For the sake of my sanity, please do. Yeah, Punchy, like I said, if they're in their own tank, I would think that that would be okay. Just keep an eye on them. I mean, 2-week-old fries surely wouldn't hurt the new babies. Take a pair, I meant. LOL. Well, we're at about 5 minutes left in the stream, so I'm going to start doing a little spiel here. Don't forget, if anyone is in the chat that hasn't went over to Priscilla's, she'll go ahead and link it again here. She's got a GoFundMe going for Joseph from JH Aquatics. We talked about it earlier in the stream, but he's getting ready to go to Peru next month. And Priscilla has started a GoFundMe because his camera that he's got, his main good camera, is on the fritz and it's not working properly. And he's got to get a new camera and he needs about $500 more. And we've got a GoFundMe going where we've been raising money to try to get him a camera so that he can capture his trip to Peru that he's going on next month. So if you guys are in the chat and you have a spare dollar, go over to the GoFundMe account link right there, and help out Joseph. He's a good guy and he deserves it, and we want him to be able to capture this trip to Peru. Beastag says, great stream later. Who next? I don't know. I don't think Jeremy's going live. Jeremy's been kind of out for the last couple of weeks. He usually goes after me, but I don't know if anybody is set next. I know on the aquarium live stream information, I was the last one on there. So there's been streams pretty much going on all day long, though. That was cool. Mass Aquarium started at like 8 o'clock Central this morning, and it pretty much had people all day long. 119 people until Super Chats. Yeah, I'm already over on my hours too. So it's really getting close. Punchy says, I'm going to send a bit for Joseph on payday. Meanwhile, share it on my Facebook page. Thank you very much, Punchy. Yeah, I think we're going to be able to hit it, no problem. I think it goes for like 10 more days, so we should have no problem hitting it. And then we can see Peru, and he'll bring it to us. You know what I mean? Otherwise, like I said earlier in the stream, I got a video coming out Monday. It is an update on my black cherry shrimp. It's very awesome. You have to check that out. And then Thursday, I add livestock to my summer tubs. It turned out to be a really good video. I'm really loving the summer tubs. And Wednesday, I got another live stream at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Digging this new time. I'm glad that I finally got it set to where they're both at the same time on Saturday and Wednesday. I like that a lot. So Priscilla says, thank you, Punchy. Bob says, thanks, Priscilla. Punchy says, Joseph needs a camera for sure. I would be lost without a camera. Oh my gosh, me too. And I look back on some of my really old videos that I used to make on the GoPros, and oh my gosh, could you imagine if you were going to Peru and you had to use a backup camera? And, you know, quality cameras really make your video a lot better. And could you imagine if you were in Peru and you, like, let's say you discovered a species or something and it was all on, like, you know, low quality, or like your camera went on a fritz and you didn't get the footage of it? That would be terrible. So that, yeah. So Bear Bottom Aquarium says, great stream. Thank you, Mr. Froze. Thanks for coming, Bear Bottom. You guys are the ones that make the stream good, though. It really helps that you guys are all on this live stream for me. You know, it could be different. I mean, right now there's 20 watching. I've seen streams that have 20 watching that are low and boring, you know, and you guys just rock. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Priscilla says, thanks, Jeff. You rock. Love y'all. Joseph says he moved his angel eggs. That's cool. Bob says, self-proclaimed lurking champ. On those 2-hour live streams, though, you got to lurk a little bit, you know. Joseph says, my camera is flicker when I film. The sensor is overheating. Ugh. Yeah, we can't have that. We got to get you a new camera, man. Punchy says, I am a wildlife artist. It would be like me going to Yellowstone without a camera. No kidding. Allison Chain says, thank you for a great stream, Jeffro. Always entertaining. Well, thanks for coming. I really appreciate it, Allison. Means a lot to me. Joseph says, moved the tumbler. Woo. All right, guys, we are at the 2-hour mark. Right on the money. Real thing for you. This is not the line for bathroom, Jeffroz FishKeeping. We're at the 2-hour mark, guys. I'm going to go ahead and call the stream there. Thanks for everyone that came. Appreciate all your help with Joseph's GoFundMe account. If you guys could give that some love, that would be great. Don't forget to stop in here on Monday morning and check out my latest video. And don't forget to come right back here next Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central and chat with the Fish Fam. It's been a good one. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll catch y'all later. Peace out, y'all.